Welcome, everybody, back to the Follow D Money podcast. This week, my journey has led one of my friends to my podcast. And this young lady is a nurse. This young lady is a comedian. This young lady is one of the founders of a comedy festival that is here in the city of Indianapolis. And this lady also has her own comedy special. This young lady is Mrs. Gwen Sunkel.
Hello.
Welcome.
What's up? Not Mrs. though. Ms.
Oh, I said Mrs.?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let me tell you something. I am one of the people that don't understand the differences. So.
Well, Mrs. means you're married, and I'm married to the game.
Oh, so there you go. Then you are Mrs. Sunkel. You married to the game. Okay. And I forgot to say that you are also a treacherous what they call the roaster. You are one mean ass woman when it comes to roasting. Like, god damn.
It's because I'm so nice any of the other times.
Bro, I'm telling you.
I had to get it out at that show.
Bro.
Who was I meanest to?
I think everyone was meanest to the only person I didn't know. The girl
Shannon.
That's the only one I didn't. Well, I don't know the guy with the dreads either.
Brian.
Petrie. I don't know Brian Petrie, and I didn't know Shannon.
Shannon Ralston.
But is Shannon okay?
I think so. All of my jokes about her were just about how young she is.
Okay,
because she's very young.
Oh, okay. Maybe yours weren't that bad, but
everybody did go a little hard in the paint.
Yeah, my brain was branded with how terrible they treated that poor. I said, this is Sarah's roast, and they killed this young lady, and she took it so well, and I was very proud of her. But she was also very funny when she roasted as well.
Yes, yeah.
She was very funny.
She did a great job giving it back.
Yes, she did. But I am glad that you are here.
Yes, and that I'm not roasting you today.
And that, you can roast me. I think I
wouldn't dream of it.
When we were at Harder Brunch, we were eating one day. I said that I want to be roasted.
Uh-huh.
Okay, can you just for a second roast me?
Just for a second roast you. Honestly, no, because I have to
I'll tell you. I already know because you've looked at my little skinny ass legs 1,000 times since you've been in here. Since you've been in here.
Not at all.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not gonna roast me.
No, I'm not in the right frame of mind.
Okay.
I'm here to be kind and and jovial and make people like me.
I think they would like you if you roasted me. I think you could gain some more friends by just letting me have it. But I'm okay with it too. So welcome and thank you for coming. I'm excited to.
Okay, Screech from Saved by the Bell would like his facial hair back.
Screech was a porn star, wasn't
he? He was a reality TV star. I
think he did porn too.
Did pornography?
I think he did.
Well, maybe he did.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe not.
Hasn't made it into my feed yet, but I'll keep looking.
You are a woman of many.
I am a woman.
You are a woman of many talents.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And side note.
Yes.
Last year. You came to my rescue.
Yes.
You remember when you came to my rescue?
I do.
I was at adult summer camp in Brown County, Indiana, and I was playing.
Which is surprisingly white.
It was. Yeah. It was pretty.
Pretty white. For something called Brown County.
Brown County was very white.
It's very white.
Yes.
Yeah. You could hear banjo music.
Yes. I feared for my life. Mm. Yes. I was playing basketball, and it was slippery. I didn't know, and I did the splits.
Yes, and it was shirts v skins. So it was so crazy because they're like, why is this half-naked man doing the splits? I didn't know this. When you said adult summer camp. No.
And I felt like my whole leg tore off.
Oh,
I
could not imagine.
I thought my leg tore off, and you came to my rescue.
Yes.
You were the greatest nurse ever. You gave me Advil, and that was it.
Stop it.
I was like, who is this nurse?
Stretch, first of all. I also told you to elevate and ice your leg.
You did do that.
Which you refused to do.
I did.
So I'm very tired of this. This all you did was give me Advil narrative.
I did like the full body massage you gave me later.
Stop it. It was too hot for any of that weekend. My God.
It was very hot.
Oh,
it was stupid hot.
Miserable.
It was stupid hot. The pool was nice.
Yeah.
But it was so hot. Will you be there this year?
Of course.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was a blast.
You, my friend, comedy. First of all, I need to know, where are you from? Where did you come from? And
where did you even come from?
What brought you here?
What brought me here?
Yes.
I was born in Indiana in a small town about an hour west of here called Greencastle, but we moved.
Greencastle?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Oh,
I heard of
Greensburg, Greenfield,
Greensburg, Greenwood.
Greenwood, yeah.
There's a Greenville?
Maybe not here, but other places.
Somewhere, yeah.
A lot of, just like every state has its own Columbus,
Yeah, you're from Greencastle. Okay.
Greencastle.
All right.
Yeah, that's where I was born.
Yep.
And then we moved around a lot when I was a kid. And then, but I've been in Indianapolis since 2005.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a very long time.
Okay.
It feels like home now.
Nice.
Yeah.
And when did you get the funny bug? Like, when did you find out you were funny, or think at least that you were funny?
So that honestly really ties in a lot to the moving around a lot, because, when you're in a new school, that's a very easy way to get people's guard down and get them to talk to you,
Yeah.
Or, I think there was also probably self-conscious element to it as well, where it's like, well, if I'm making them laugh at me, they can't laugh at me for something else that I don't want them to,
Yep. And did you perform, were you you weren't a comedian.
Right. I did a lot of other types of performance as a child and teen and young adult. I sang in choir. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
No, you do,
not that
because you do
but
improv as well, right?
I do a little bit of improv here and there if someone holds a gun to my head. Or I do the evening with the authors show. Where
right.
That's a character every month. Yeah. So I had been singing in choirs and stuff. And
so you can sing too?
I can, yeah.
Dang.
Not as well anymore, but
you're a Renaissance woman.
It's something like that. Something like that. But so I already felt pretty comfortable on stage long before I started comedy.
Okay. And you were always funny, and then I
don't know that I was always funny. I was always trying to be funny.
You at least had humor.
Yes.
You found humor in things.
Yes.
And you had a way of
love to be a cut up, love to listen to comedy
Were you the class
albums.
clown?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was also a very good student, kind of a little bit of hall monitor energy. I'm not gonna lie.
Hall monitors give me young Karen energy.
Yeah. Probably a little bit of that. Probably a little bit of that. No, we're just trying to keep everybody safe out here in these hallways. No, I didn't want to get in trouble. I was always the new girl at school, so I didn't want to get in trouble.
So how did you become a hall monitor as a new girl?
No, because I was always so responsible.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't know.
I get it.
Whatever. Religious guilt. That's how I became a hall monitor. But yeah, that's what we're talking about. So trying to be funny, but not in a way that's gonna disrupt anything.
Okay, that's good.
And now I'm like, disrupt whatever you want with your
anything.
jokes. Yeah.
You're, okay. Yeah.
Yell it out at a funeral.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you go there. you do go there, and I appreciate that about you.
Stretch is making me sound like a really mean person.
No, I'm not saying that you're mean. Well, you have been, but I'm not saying that you're mean. I'm saying that your jokes, to me, sometimes, like, they make me laugh because of how real they are.
Yeah. I want to, like...
They're very real.
Thank you. Comedy in one part is to, just make people feel better and laugh. But if you get a long time on stage and you can make people think about something, then it's worth it to do that.
Yeah. How important is it for you to relay who you are through your comedy? Because some people put on they're a character. But for me, when I listen to you, it just seems like you are up there talking as Gwen. You know what I mean? So is that you, and why is it if it is?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Like, I think it's kind of hard for me to judge, like, what percentage or a character I am.
Okay.
But yeah,
so it is a little bit of a character up there as well.
A little bit. I'm probably like a little angrier on stage than I am like off stage.
I would agree. Yeah. I could agree with that.
Yeah. Just for effect, just because it's funny.
Yep.
But comedy very often starts from like a place of honesty or something, and an experience you've had. What sometimes isn't like 100% truthful, or is like a lot of stories will be the amalgamation of many stories together.
Yes.
That's or it's like I'll have a story that like the beginning I think is interesting, but I'll make up the ending or something.
So usually when you have a story or a bit, it's coming from some sort of reality, and then
but then embellish it
however you want.
And that's the art form.
That's the professionalism in it, I guess. All right. You have your own special, so it's on YouTube.
Yes.
And it is good. And
thank you.
How did that opportunity present itself to you? Because not everybody gets to do that.
You're right. No, I was working with some guys from 4x3 Media out in Cincinnati. They're terrific. But no, I had actually opened for a friend of mine, Spark Tabor. He was recording a special with them.
Okay.
And I featured for him. So I, went up before him, and they saw me and they were like, hey, if you'd be interested in recording something, then we'd be interested in working with you.
That is dope.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity.
And what did that opportunity do for you?
It was a great way to, there's not a lot of like endpoints in comedy. Like if you play a sport, the season, you get to the end of the season, or there's a tournament or something, or, if you're a painter, it's like, finish a painting or something, but there's not a lot of like finish lines in comedy. So recording a special or an album really allows you to like kind of put a bow on 45 to 60 minutes of material that says like, okay, I'm done with that and I'm moving on to something new.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And when you put it in perspective like that, that makes a lot of sense, because I see a lot of comedians who are working on material, and I might see that material a few times. And then normally, if that person has a special, it's not the same material after that special is released.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Because once it's out there, it's like people
everybody
don't want to see it.
So they don't want to. Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
So a lot of people they'll be like, oh, I couldn't make stuff up on the spot like that, and it's like, no one's making it up. Like I've been practicing saying the same joke the same way for years.
Right. Yep. And then so going through school and becoming an adult, you had to pick a profession.
Yes.
You picked nursing.
Yes.
Was that a natural thing, or something you always wanted to do?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No, I was originally going to school to be an English major.
Oh.
And I was kind of watching all my friends from college, like also graduate and then get jobs at Starbucks. So I was like, well, what's something that I can I was really passionate about having a job where I got to help people.
Yep.
So that seemed like a natural fit. And then I had had some interactions with the healthcare system, and nurses were a real bright spot in that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I would love to be able to provide that experience for other people.
Dope.
But when I told my parents oh, I'm gonna switch schools and go to nursing school, or my dad was like, you might want to take up knitting or juggling or something to improve your hand-eye coordination.
Because you're gonna be administering shots and things like that.
Starting IVs and stuff. So yeah.
You're not coordinated?
No. But I'm great at starting IVs.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Really good at it. So.
That makes I'm scared of needles.
Yeah.
What's the synergy like between comedy and nursing? How do they blend in Gwen?
Well, so I'm actually a nurse practitioner, and
So you're rich?
No, absolutely not. Because I only work part-time, so I can do comedy. So no.
So you're almost nurse practitioners are almost like doctors.
We're not. I didn't set foot in a med school. But yeah, the big flex is that everybody's always impressed about is that I can write prescriptions or whatever.
Correct.
So I work most recently I worked in hospice palliative care, so end of life care.
Yep.
And it was just obviously you have a lot of sad conversations and see a lot of very complicated family dynamics throughout that process. And it's just such so rejuvenating for me, fills my cup to get to see live comedy, participate in the art form, and make other people laugh. It's one of those you give as much as you get, or get as much as you give.
Right, because one side sucking life out of you.
Yeah, I mean not really.
I don't mean it like that, but I mean, but the other one is injecting life into you, laughing and things like that brings life, and then you're seeing a lot of sadness and loss. So it's you're watching life being lost.
Yeah,
and then you're getting and receiving. Wow, that's tough. That takes a lot.
Yeah. And we obviously have a super broken healthcare system, and, it's no different for people working in, my sliver of the profession as nurse practitioners, where, it's all about, it feels very profit driven and money driven. And it's well, I got into this because I didn't want to be all about that, you know?
Yep.
Sorry, to go against the title of the podcast, follow D Money. But
I'm D Money. I'm not the money. I'm just
D Money. Okay.
I'm just D Money.
Fair enough. Okay.
I am not the system.
No.
What kind of comedian are you? Do you write jokes? Are you a joke writer?
I do. I write them all out by hand.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's one, it really helps me remember them.
Right.
Something about seeing it written down and the act of writing it down really helps. That's always how I've studied and remembered things. And then again, you're trying to make it feel like it's the first time you've ever said something on stage, but I've actually thought it out very carefully and tried to take out extra words and, make sure I'm pausing for long enough in the right place and stuff. So that's all very rehearsed.
Do you practice?
So comedians practice is going to an open mic.
Dang.
So that's the gym for us. You
know?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So you don't just go home and say jokes out loud to yourself to practice how you say it. If I have a speaking engagement, I'm going to say it. I have to hear it come out of my mouth to feel comfortable even before I go and say it in front of two people. You know what I mean? I just like to hear how it sounds. So do you write a joke and then the first time you speak it is at an open mic?
Yeah,
Dang,
usually.
That's brave.
I mean,
that's dope.
There's no stakes at an open mic. There's literally there's what it is there for you to practice new jokes.
That's baller because I, as a fan of comedy, go to open mics to listen. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry that it's a terrible idea.
I love open mics because one, okay,
I love to see people fail.
no, I don't love to see people fail. I love to see the confidence in people who aren't quite there yet. Like
Yeah.
I like to say, oh, I know that person's going to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like about open mics. And yes, it is very hard to watch a person like bomb,
Mm-hmm.
especially some that I think maybe you're not a comedian. Like those are the tough,
Yeah.
those are the tough ones. But I really enjoy open mics for the future of comedy. Because I want to say that I saw somebody on an open mic that I see on TV or something.
Yeah, like I saw Jim Gaffigan write his Hot Pockets joke, back in the day or whatever.
Yeah, that's.
No, I can see that, but there are better ways to spend your time. I'm glad you enjoy it. We need someone there.
Another aspect of comedy that I love to ask comedians how they deal with it. How do you deal with hecklers?
So generally hecklers think that they're helping. So you kind of like, one, I just try to ignore it.
Okay.
And unless it's just like absolutely egregious and like you cannot ignore it.
Yep.
And then, I don't know. I don't have like a hard and fast system about it. It's also kind of based on like where I am in my act.
Yep.
Like if it's an area where I'm really worked up, I've just yelled at someone, I'm talking right now, and then I've also said to somebody like, oh, you're totally cool, but I have the microphone. So this is my turn now.
Right. So you hall monitored them.
Yes, I did. But no, honestly, I just try to ignore it and most venues, the staff will take care of it and tell them to be quiet. But people, it really distracts me. Like whenever I hear someone, because it's like, oh, is somebody yelling like, if there's an emergency, we need to run for the door. What's going on?
Right. I like the way certain people handle hecklers. Like, we'll talk about middle ground, but one of the headliners, Lucas Waterfield. I've seen him handle a heckler before, and he had my stomach hurting.
Yeah, he's so good at that,
man,
like in the moment.
Yeah, I couldn't believe the dude was heckling him.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it, but he had my stomach hurting clowning that dude.
Yeah.
Middle ground.
Yes.
It is
coming right up.
A comedy festival.
Yes.
Coming right up.
Yes. April 25th through the 28th.
April 20th. Dang, that's a big deal. Like
it's
you could have had a comedy festival will be one day. You have an entire weekend. So
a long weekend. 4 days of comedy. Yeah.
Can you tell us where the idea of this big to-do came about?
Yeah. Well, comedy festivals are a lot of fun. And most other cities that have like a comparably sized comedy scene have a festival.
Yep.
Indianapolis has had like a couple of iterations of them that have like with varying levels of success. So then after the pandemic, we were like, I would really love for Indianapolis to like have this thing that like other scenes have and would, it has like kind of a twofold purpose. One, you get to bring comedians in so that they can see what a great city Indianapolis is and how much fun it is and how great our audiences are. Yep. And then you get to introduce our audiences here to comics that they probably wouldn't normally see.
Right.
Yeah.
What is your, what's the end goal? Like, are you guys at where you want to be? Or do you have this grandiose idea of what you picture your festival being?
Yeah. That's a great question that I'm not, right now we're just trying to get through next weekend. We'll kind of see at the end of that. I would love to be able to have like bigger name headliners or to be able to do things like give comics a travel stipend or things like that. So I don't need it to be any longer. Certainly,
Right,
4 days of comedy is plenty.
Right.
But I would love to be able to do more things for the people performing on the festival because
Okay.
they're really like the heart and soul of it.
Correct.
You know.
And what are some of the things that are going on other than comedy? Because I went last year, and you guys had Harder Brunch do a podcast.
Yes, so they're back this year.
Okay.
The boys are back in town.
Yep.
BOIZ.
Yep.
They're going to be there Sunday at 3 p.m. at Half Liter.
Yep.
So come by and get a little hangover brunch and watch them.
Yep.
We're having the Fake Ass Book Club podcast.
Yep.
They're going to be recording.
Yep.
So we have karaoke Thursday night after the Al Jackson show over at Looms. So that's going to be fun. Kendra Stone's hosting that for us. We're taking all the comics duck pin bowling.
Okay.
You know?
Yep.
All the good Indianapolis hangs.
And then most of the comedy is at Black Circle, right?
So a little different this year. Thursday and Sunday, the comedy is all at Half Liter.
Oh, okay.
And then Friday and Saturday, it's at Black Circle. And then the Sunday show, of course, is always at Black Circle.
All right. And who are your headliners?
Oh, we got some terrific folks this year. We got Al Jackson, who's been on Comedy Central. He's a Bob and Tom favorite.
Okay.
You can actually hear him next Thursday, the 25th on Bob and Tom.
Okay.
He's also on a news program called The Daily Blast Live, if you're a fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be there Thursday night. Friday, we have, as we said, Lucas Waterfill, Indianapolis favorite, won the Funniest Person in Indiana contest in 2021. He's got a special on Amazon.
Yep.
Funny, very funny guy. Saturday, we have Tom Takar, who is an IU alum, and he has been on every late night show, Conan, Jimmy Fallon, and all of those. And then Sunday, we have Lace Larrabee, who was a semifinalist on season 17 of America's Got Talent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's some big time stuff.
Yeah. So we really hope people will come out and to be able to see, 4 comics of that caliber in one weekend.
And how many total comics do you have?
So then we have about 35 comics that are coming in from either out of town. We have a few locals on, but who are the feature comedians who will be opening their shows. And then also we have several showcases throughout the weekend.
Dang.
Yeah. And then we have 10 comics who are here local to Indianapolis who will be hosting the shows for us.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a way to really showcase Indiana's talent, but also show Indiana some talent from out of town.
Absolutely.
What's the criteria for people to be included in Middle Ground? Like, how did you decide who is able to perform?
Great question. Yeah, so we have an application process.
Okay.
So comedians submit a 5 to 7 minute tape.
Yep.
And then we hire judges to kind of narrow those down for us.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of logistics and concerns about the producers being the ones that are selecting your whole festival.
Right.
So we have them kind of narrow it down to a field of about 50. And then from there, we choose 35 to 40.
Dang. And then you have to have some backup.
We do usually. Yeah.
Because if they're coming from out of town, you never know.
Yeah. And sometimes people get booked on a better gig. And I don't, I can't fault somebody for that, especially again, since most people coming and participating on a festival are doing it just again, for the love of the game.
Right.
And I mean, it's a great networking opportunity for comics. And it's also a great way to if somebody doesn't know anyone in Indianapolis to come and get new fans and meet other comedy bookers and stuff. So it's not a completely zero-sum game, but it's also, not cheap to travel from wherever you're at.
Yeah, no. Well, Middle Ground is coming up. And
it is.
I'm really excited to be a part. It's actually my birthday weekend.
No way.
My birthday's on the 26th, yeah.
Oh, we planned it that way, actually.
I know.
Yeah,
it's my birthday party.
What could we do for Stretch's birthday? I know, comedy festival.
Yeah.
Just a whole 4-day thing.
I really love it.
Celebrating joy and merriment.
Yes. And is there a topless part? Do you guys have topless people?
A topless part? No, I don't think
There's
we have
no
a
topless section of middle ground.
No, I don't think so. We have Saturday at 7 p.m. We have the LGBTQ showcase,
Okay.
which was one of the favorite shows from last year, where all the queer comics on the festival do a really short set, because last year 40% of the comics on the festival were queer.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well,
I mean, I was.
You were there, weren't you?
I was there.
I remember you.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, but I couldn't tell. Like, all of them don't just do like queer comedy. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
So when you speak of that, then you know. But if
Right.
you don't really know.
Yeah. So
that
that's
makes
just
sense.
one of the questions on the application is
okay.
like, would you, do you identify as this part of this community, and would you like to participate in the showcase?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So last year it was like 14 of the 34 or whatever.
Okay.
So
Well, inclusive environment as well.
yeah, absolutely. Okay. No, Cam, one of my other co-producers, Heather Brogdon is the other co-producer. But Cam and I have a really similar philosophy on booking shows, that we just want them to be like interesting and, give people who don't look like us, stage time and opportunities that we've been given,
Yeah. You have the reach, and you have the platform to create access, and you're doing that.
Absolutely.
You're actively doing that. That's called not being racist, or that's called sexist. Yeah. Like you have to actively be doing something to not be a certain way.
Right.
And I don't think a lot of people realize that. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. I hear a lot of people say like, well, I just book who's funny. And it's like, it's not a completely objective measure to say like, just book what's funny. Well, like, what's funny to me is not funny to everybody,
Correct.
somebody else who had a different upbringing and a different set of circumstances.
Right.
So I have to recognize like my own blind spots and account for those.
Yep. And you're using it in the comedy circle, but we should use that in life.
Absolutely.
Like when we're dealing with any kind of opportunities, we have to create opportunities for people, and we don't always recognize it through our own lens.
Mm-hmm. So
again, I applaud you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I applaud you bringing all these people on your podcast.
Yeah, I try to bring all kinds of people.
I know. It's like the array of guests that have been on your show, because I was listening to a couple before I came on and flipping through. I was like, wow, he's at everybody on this.
I try. Yeah. I would like to know who would be some of your comedy giants that you look up to.
I love Joan Rivers. I love B. Arthur.
Okay. See, all mean people. All mean people. You're a little meanie. That's why.
This is really taught me.
I love those two too.
Yeah,
like,
they're
B.
great.
Arthur is hilarious. Joan Rivers was super hilarious.
Yeah, I love Mike Birbiglia.
I don't know who.
Mike Birbiglia. He did.
I know who that is.
Yeah,
I know Mike Birbiglia.
Yeah, he's really funny.
Yep.
David Cross is actually my favorite.
He's hilarious.
Yeah. A lot of people know him more from his acting, but like his stand-up is my favorite. His stand-up is
really good.
Yeah.
I like Dave Attell.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
I grew up watching Insomniac.
I love Dave Attell.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm a huge Chappelle.
Mm-hmm.
I like Cat. I like
Cat Williams.
I love Corey Holcomb.
When are you gonna get an exclusive interview with Cat Williams?
I wish.
Here at the Roundtable Recording Studios.
I would love that. I would love
straight off of the Shannon Sharp podcast. Cat Williams coming in hot.
Now he's following D-Money. That's a good follow-up to
Yeah.
Locally,
yes,
your peers, who makes you laugh?
Oh gosh, Willie Bostick, so very funny.
I never heard of him.
You've never heard of Willie, the guy who looks like he's never brushed his hair ever?
Willie Bostick? No, I don't know who that is. How do I mean, and I like to think that I'm up on our local comedy scene.
Well, he's performing on the festival,
Okay,
so
good.
you'll get
I'll
to
go
see
check
him
out
there.
Willie.
Yep, absolutely. I love Dyke Michaels, Thad McKee, you know, my buddies.
Yep.
Love those guys. We've had so many people leave our scene recently. We have Sarah moved to New York. Shannon Roston, as we were talking about earlier, hilarious.
She's not here anymore either.
She moved to Chicago.
Dang.
Yeah, Morgan Lee moved to Chicago.
Dang.
Yeah, I love Tenna McDonald as well. You know Tenna.
Yeah, I know Tenna.
Also going to be on the festival.
Okay. So it's going to be a lot of familiar faces as well.
Yeah. I think we have.
Then you said a lot of locals are hosting.
Yes. Yeah. So locals are all hosting the shows, and then I think we have 4 local comics who applied to the festival and made it. So
What are some of your comedic goals personally?
I would love to have a late night set at some point. I would love to JFL used to be on my bucket list, but no more because the festival has gone bankrupt. RIP.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, just this year they announced. Yeah, so that's what part of
because that was like everybody's. Like a lot of people wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah, people's goal. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Which should show all of you what a terrible decision it is to run a comedy festival. That the most famous one in the world just went under this year, like 2 months before their festival was supposed to happen.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
I think, okay, so for me, I almost every time a comedian is on my show, I always give you guys props because you guys, to me, are so brave. Making people laugh is harder than making somebody bob their head. It's harder than inspiring somebody. It's hard. And it takes a personal beating for somebody to go up there and risk bombing. Like I think that bombing at making a song is different than bombing at a comedy show.
Okay.
It's different than like if I'm giving you an inspirational speech, if nobody is inspired, I don't feel bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when you bomb at a comedy show and you risk that every time you go out there, it just seems it's so scary. So you guys are brave as hell, but you guys also are kind of like the ear to the streets because you guys say what's going on and you give your perspective and try to make people laugh about it.
Yeah.
You know, so I just love comedy for that. I love that comedy is the last truth-telling outlet, you know, because a lot of people don't trust the media. And with comedy, you just have a voice that you're able to express the way you feel about something in a funny way.
Well, and you really have to gain people's trust to get them to laugh at you. It's
Correct.
a vulnerable feeling to really like be out of control with laughter.
Yep.
I don't want to sound like preachy or whatever.
Go. Go.
But I just feel like I have a little bit different perspective on that. Like the whole like you could bomb and it could be terrible thing. It's like you know, I've been a nurse for now almost many years, almost 2 decades, 73 years, and you know, it's just a job. But I've watched someone bleed to death before, so like going up and making dick and fart jokes at a bar is nothing. Whatever. Like, whatever. It's fine. This is made up. This is made up.
Yeah, I get
I
it.
made up a story about getting fingered in a school bus. And I get to tell it on stage. And yeah. So I see it less as like bravery and more as like an incredible privilege.
Okay. Well, I think that's honorable. That's an honorable opinion. And
thank you. Honor is my middle name. It's Gwendolyn Honor Sunkel.
I mean, I'm just saying, so when I see people up there bombing, I'm just like, man, they're still going. And it's tough.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it doesn't feel good. It does not feel good.
But and then you see that person after the show and they're just having a drink and cheers.
Yeah, you can't hang on.
I know
to
that,
it,
but that's what I'm saying. Like I think it takes a certain kind of confidence to be able to absorb, or not even absorb, get that kind of reaction. You know, in a profession that is kind of based on reaction. You know, when you have no reaction and you can just walk away and still hold your head high, that's very commendable.
Well, yeah. Another like important skill for comics to learn is kind of like how to pivot. It's like, okay, if this crowd is not into, you know, written jokes, like material, do they want like crowd work? Do they really, you know, like, you know, jokes about sex? You know, are they really interested in like, you know, current events? And maybe you don't have anything for it, but that's a good like skill to kind of hone and develop.
Well, that's funny that you say that, because to me, what I know about you is that you're a pretty outspoken person. I think that your perspective on things doesn't really sit well with the atmosphere or the environment that you live.
Oh my God, you make me sound mean again. Your literal being doesn't sit in the atmosphere well.
You being you doesn't,
you are
but you don't belong.
Cloud.
You don't belong. Okay, but what I'm saying is, like, I feel like your perspective on things, you speak out about how you feel when it doesn't always resonate with not the crowd, but where you are in Indiana. Let's just say Indiana. Sure. You don't your viewpoints don't always coincide with Indiana viewpoints. So I just want to know, how do you find resolve? Like, how do you feel okay or know when to address certain things in certain crowds? Not just here, but anywhere. Like if you were having your opinion, you go up there, you're a white chick and you're in an all black audience, you know, your material has to be something that they relate to.
Absolutely.
You understand? And then, like, also if you are extremely progressive and you have an extremely conservative crowd, how do you make them laugh?
Yeah.
Because you can, but you know, a good comedian figures that out. And how do you address that?
Yeah. Again, I think you can't start out a set kind of going in hard on people, like, this is what I think about abortion, you know, right out the jump, you know. So you have to like gain their trust a little bit and earn the right to talk about some of those tougher topics. So, you know, a lot of times it's kind of alternating, like, okay, let me do a couple of really just silly jokes that are just for the laugh, and then I'll do one that kind of like has a serious point, and then I'll do another couple silly ones, and then I'll go back to something. So and
in that time you're just reading them, how they're accepting this. And sometimes it's like, well, let's just abandon the anything with a point and just go with the fun stuff, and that's fine too. You know, people, it's not church. People are not there for a lecture. They're there to have fun. I hope that occasionally they can have fun and like think about something in a different way. But ultimately, I'm an entertainer, and they paid money to be entertained and made to laugh. And that's my primary job. You're not there to preach to them.
No.
Cool. How would you, Gwen Sunkel, define success?
Being a guest on the Follow D-Money podcast
you made it.
is truly the highest goal that I could have ever hoped for.
All right. Well, you know, thanks for coming.
I would like to I'd like to be able to pay my bills with comedy. You know, I'd like that. Yeah. That would seem like success to me.
Okay. That's very like, that's meager. Like, I think you will do that.
I sincerely hope so.
I think you will do that. But in the meantime, you're still going to nurse, right? You're still nursing, and you use that to pay the bills.
Yes.
And how often do you practice comedy?
A lot of it depends on like what I have going on personally. Like here leading up to the festival, like I haven't been to an open mic in a couple of weeks, and that's a shame. But you know, there are other nights where I'm out there, you know, 5 nights a week. So just kind of depends on.
And then, so nursing just fits in around that?
Yeah, as best I can. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, at least you're doing what you love, and then you're still able to hold a profession, like, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Well, I think that I don't have anything else. How can people find you on social media?
Oh, well, I'm out there.
You're out there. Let's go. Let's hear it.
I'm at Gwender Woman across all social medias. That's like Wonder Woman with a Gwen.
Yeah.
And you can follow Middle Ground Comedy Festival at Middle Ground Fest on Instagram. Our website is middlegroundcomedy.com, and find out all the details.
And shout out to Heather and Cam, who also help
Absolutely.
you with that, and they do a great job.
They do.
At what they do.
We wouldn't be here without them.
Yeah, I just want to shout them out because
Absolutely.
they are also two great people doing a lot of big things in the city as well.
Yeah, make sure to follow them as well.
Yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Please go to followdmoney.com to listen to episodes. Tell me how much you love this episode. Buy merchandise.
Tell me how mean I am.
Yeah, I hope everybody agrees that this woman is mean as hell. Thanks for coming, dear.
Thank you for having me.
Peace.
Bye.